Alright, this is about finding the right version of Godot with which to edit Lingo. So, anyone who's in the channel already for a while should already, hopefully, have the right version of Godot. But without the Steamworks version of Godot, and specifically the 3.5.2 version, whatever map you make won't work in the end. So, here is the Lingo website. If you go to Maps and then you click How to Create down here, you can get a link to the custom guide map. And what matters here is that it tells you which version of Godot to use. So the first is Godot engine, and you have the link right here, which leads you to Godot Steamworks here. So now you just need to download whichever one matches your system, Linux, Mac, or Windows, and unzip it, and then you just need to run the .executable. It's already been compiled. Another way to find this would be to go to the Discord, and as you can see in the announcements of Map and Mods, we have Brenton here. This is from August the 30th, telling you which version to pick, and this should be a link to... Oh, this is a link directly to the Windows version. So, this will also get you what you want, and you should pay attention to the announcements page here in case we happen to need another build engine. So if you use any other variation on Godot, you can make a map, you can do a lot, but it won't work. In particular, no version of Godot 4.0, Steamworks or not, will work to create a Godot map. There's just too many differences between the different editions, and there are a lot of things that do not exist in a lot of features that were introduced in Godot 4.0 that do not exist in Godot 3.5. And while I'm talking to you, let's talk about the Godot docs, which are the primary things. Yeah, I have one right here. So docs.godotengine.org is going to be, and you don't want the 4.2 docs, you want 3.5. This is going to be your primary reference point for all of the functions. So in the introduction, there should also be, well, here's a lot of frequently asked questions, not really what we're looking for. Getting started is what I wanted here. This is actually a step-by-step go-through of 3D and 2D games, so you'll want to pay attention to this one a lot. It'll introduce you to a lot of the basic tools and get you used to working with nodes and what a kinematic body is versus a rigid body versus a static body. It introduces you to a lot. This isn't at all necessary for programming in for programming. For making a map in Lingo, you can just stick to grid maps and panels and just duplicating stuff and putting it on the grid. So that's, and yeah. And then once you're coming down here, where is the thing? So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. You want to pay special attention to scripting if you're going to be doing scripting, and I think the GD script has... Yeah, so here is an introduction to all the GD script stuff, which is kind of all the basics. GD script is the language that is built into Godot. You can also program in C# if you're more familiar with that, and so you'll want to be looking at this bit here. There is also a visual script component to it now. I haven't really touched on visual scripting before. I haven't touched it at all, because I generally don't like visual scripters. So, if I ever want to know more about mesh instances, I just type that up here into the box. Remembering the correct spelling for instance, and I will get mesh instance, and that will show me what properties I can look at from mesh instance and what methods I can call from it. Now, this is an object-oriented language, which means that everything inherits, not everything, most things inherit from some other class. So in here, I see that we have this inheriting from geometry instance, visual instance, call instance, spatial node, and object. So you might remember that I can in fact move a mesh instance around. It does in fact have coordinates. That comes from the fact that it inherits from spatial. So it also has all of these as properties, and global translation, or transform, are the ones in particular that are, or global transform, are the ones that are relevant to us here. So the global translation is the coordinates, which is what mesh instance was accessing. So mesh instance has all the properties and all of the methods from these objects already. And it's inherited by soft body, so if you happen to use a soft body for anything, which you probably shouldn't unless you already know what a soft body is, it will also have access to all of these properties and methods, and also to everything in Mesh Instance. So that is your brief primer on where to get all the information that you need for scripting and what version of Godot to use. And there you go.